Greater light, greater light, greater night, gr- great shadow hours. This shadow hours. This shadow hours. What grandma got to talk about in the shadow hours? Uh, let's go.
Shadow hours. Life. Get fully palm. Shadow hours. Life. My grandma mentioned that part. Shadow hours. Life. In the shadow hours of forever. Shadow hours. Life. With grandma up. Connect that far. Life, 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 life. Ooh. Life, 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 life. Ah. Life, 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 life. Ooh. Ah. Life. Life. Shadow. Life. We've been further apart. Shadow hours. Life. With grandma making that part. Shadow hours. Life. In the shadow hours of forever. Shadow hours. Life. With grandma up. Connect that far. Life. 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 Ooh. Life. 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 Ah. Life. 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 Ooh. Ah. Life. 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 Life.
All right, that's enough with the intro. That's enough with the intro. Let's go. Ooh, my ears are clogging up. Oh boy. Oh boy, the pressure is on, ain't it? Oh, y'all not ready? Y'all not ready? Listen, don't let no false prophets tell you no teach you no false prophet stuff. They don't study to show thyself approved. They're just coming out of the woodworks trying to stay on topic. If they not talking about Jesus, beware, beware. God is going to keep his promise. Jesus did exist. Jesus existed 6,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, and all before that. And the line of Judah, that line is not the same line. There's a where's a fit, and there's a the fit. But enough of that. I ain't came on here for that. I didn't come on here for that. I came on. You see my title. I wanted to share some joke when them jokey joke artificial intelligence shared with me today. Uh, I said, Tell me about the laws of the comma laws. Tell me about the comma laws." As I was doing my research, I'm not going to tell you all about the other research, this shadow hours right here. Y'all know it's different in the shadow hours. But let me tell you about my quest on tell me about the comma laws. Tell me more about the specifically Oxford comma laws. Oxford comma laws. So this is what how she Solar broke it down for me, and then when she broke it down, she did this like the sentences she used was like coded up, right? But I'm gonna read. Let me read to you so I can let you know how I got to where I'm about to take you in a minute. About these last day plans these people got going on. Huh? To buy your light code. This is no joke. Oh, wait. Breaking news. Breaking news. Before I go into the comma laws, Comma and coma is all the same. Do you understand and comprehend that the comma and the coma is the same? Like in a coma, you are not always stopped, uh, but there's a pause on your breath, and they have to hook you up to machines in order to keep your light going. Uh, the comma and the coma is the same. So I'm gonna go into comma laws, but I just wanted to show something. It's in our light code. It's in your DNA, the signs of the skies, the signs of the times. Christ left the blueprint. Believe that. Christ left the blueprint. And for some of us, and here's some misinformation going out in the community right now. Y'all listen carefully. The Bible does not say only 144,000 is going to be saved. 144,000 are the witnesses to the billions of people to be saved. The 144,000 already in existence this day. Okay? All right. Now, back to it. Say there would be, he saw 144,000, and then he saw numbers of beings as the sands of the seas. So that's, you can't even hold a handful of sand and look down at a handful of sand and count. So he saw the 144,000 that were redeemed, the 144,000 just, and then past the 144,000 was so many that he couldn't count. It was like the sands of the seas. Okay. So, but over a year ago, I kept on with my green lights on. And when that C 2023, 2022 came into C 2023, I kept telling y'all, I said that they're lying, talking about it only comes around every 80,000 years, every 50,000 years. It's gonna come back because that's not what they claim it is. It's not a comet. That is our sign, that is our signal that time is at hand, and it will be back. I'm the only one on the face of this earth that was saying that is going to come back. I had people out of space.com triggered to debate with me that wasn't going to come back. It was a once in a lifetime thing. And I talked about it and talked about it because I was sure. And then I had made a big deal because I had felt like I missed it. Like I could have went then the first time it came around, and it wasn't meant for me to but I wanted to go when it was going. I I wanted to go. It stayed in the atmosphere longer than what they say and what they showed people. Then when it returned behind the sun, when it went in that direction of the sun and went and entered into the portal of the sun, that's when you had people who was following saying that they could see ships and stuff going in and out of the sun. But I told y'all it'd be back. I told y'all they didn't know what they were talking about. I told y'all that. See, let me just go. And I haven't changed, adjusted. You know how some people could go in and change the time. Creators know that you could go in and change the times and the dates on your streams, make it seem like you was talking about something way before, a long, long time ago, going changing dates and times on streams. So a lot of people do that. They've been doing it for years. I don't have to go back and change because there was people that was in my lives at the time, in my chats, in the so-called way, picking at me. Uh, but I'm gonna show you. Let me show you real quick this news right here. So here they are talking about it. Ignore that right there. That's where I'm going. You ignore that right there. You didn't see nothing. But here they go talking about it now, talking about this right here is just a presentation for from my son. This right here is just for me. It's just for me. That's why it's coming October closest that it will get by. They don't even know. Some of their technology predict the best time will be October 9th, and some predict a day after that. The best time for y'all to go out there and see it with your naked eyes is October 11th. That's a birthday gift to me. That's what my husband, huh? That's what my husband sending me for celebration, huh? Now, what they gonna do and try to do for me is contaminate the skies with storm and rain and all that. But bet you by golly, wow, it's still gonna be all connected. I don't have to go out there and see it with my eyes. The same way before it came in 2023, I was singing about it coming before it came. No, not because I'm a prophet, uh, not because I'm a soothsayer and all that. No, because it's already written. It's written. It was coded. It's encoded in the DNA. Now, here is proof of my streams when I kept singing about it. Let's go with the first one because I kept talking about the green light. Some of them I have specifically titled C22, C23. So this one right here, it wasn't a year ago. It was way more than a year ago, but they hear YouTube say a year ago. Green light, sun, dear servant derriere. AI briefings and Bill of Rights. Uh, then AI risk trick Jean Jean and Jeremiah Jacobs trouble. Times a tick tocking. A year ago. I've been telling y'all everything that they now want to be pulling out their pocket Bibles. All they now they want to all pull out their pocket Bibles in such a short time and try to get you ready and try to keep it on that knowledge that they teach you, but scamming around and tiptoeing. That's why I put comatose. They tiptoeing around the Bible. No, they want to teach it in full fledged, but because they drifted off for so long ago, they can't even teach it properly. That's what the comatose is. Huh? I could go down the list and do so many check marks and say wrong. That's not what the Bible say. Wrong. Read it again. Wrong. You can't just read one verse and say something wrong. Wrong. And you can't Google it and you can't go to nobody else's YouTube page and teach it right. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. It's in the code. It's in the codex. It's in your DNA sequence. Now here. But good job trying. That's what I like. I like that. The more you open your mouth on the word and say Jesus, you'll be transformed by the twinkling of an eye. You see that right there? Uh, see that picture? See that picture right there? That you see that picture of that light, that green light coming? That was a year ago. That's the same green light where they say, no, it ain't coming. Back again. This will be the last time. Go get a good look. Huh? Here we go. Ignore Little Wayne or Madonna with the cross on his finger and all that. I put C3 on a reconstruct. I'd love to go over and read play these right now, but I ain't got the time. Now this was 11 months ago, right here. Here, this was a year ago, C2022. C2022, that was over a year ago. A workforce that looked like America. See my playmate, come on and play with me. This one, the DMZ Arc Effect, C2022 ZTF. This one I broke down what the C2022 that they say would never come back around. But C2023, I broke down and let you know that it's in the sequence of your DNA to know that that entity will be coming back around. Not because it's written anywhere, because see, these are the final days where John couldn't see everything. None of the prophets could see everything or anything, not even Jesus. Not even Jesus knows. That's according to when God decides to come back. It's not written. So there it is again, more false prophets out there. But it is in our sequence to know when the signs happen, where they got it written, like they wrote it last year, saying that that same entity that is out there right now won't be coming back around for another 80,000, 50,000 years. It's just a once in a lifetime. What, one in a million chance of a lifetime, huh? Daylight, huh? So I broke it all down for y'all, not because of anything, but because Jesus left a blueprint in our DNA, huh? He gave us prophets and written agendas to help us along the way. So he didn't come to destroy the laws of the prophets. He came to fulfill it. And how to fulfill it but better within your perfect solution within your DNA. Hmm? I put there again, C2023. That was this year. C23, and that's me bragging, saying they ain't telling y'all that C2023 coming back. They ain't tell y'all yet, right? See? See? How is it showing up 3 times in a lifetime if it ain't supposed to come around but once in a lifetime? Here it is again. Now, this one, what type of visual I did? This one was a visual. that I did about the three light beings dropping me off and all that. This was a visual I did. Um, and from my mind to the mind of the jewels of soul. And here I put the C 2022 XFTE3 Noels, and I will explain more about who I am and where I'm from in this one right here. I should click. Let me click it. Let me see how 3 minutes. Yeah, I don't.
Your back, your front, your side, they disloyal. I gotta watch my crown, cause from birth I've been royal. And that's from the soil.
I gotta play that one more time. I just realized I was paused, like the volume was gone. The volume wasn't playing. Well, it was about the visuals anyway. 1976 when I got
At
dropped
first I
off.
said that I love you when you ain't say that shit back. It's kinda hard to just trust you when both your feelings don't match. Got me showing less emotions, I don't wanna get attached. Once I give you my word, I swear it ain't no going back. Once I give you my heart, you better keep that shit intact. Instead of assuming no words, girl, I'm just here stating facts. You want me to take you back, I want you to take me back. You want me to take you back, I want you to take me.
So that's worldwide news. This right here, this is universal galactical news. Okay? Okay? This ain't no coincidence. There's no coincidences. Here, let's share this screen. This ain't no coincidence. This right here ain't no coincidence right here. Huh? What you think? What you think, huh? And they saying all up in Africa, everybody gonna see it. Everybody in the world gonna get to see this one. This ain't no comet right here. All of us who are connected naturally, before the transition, you can feel the pressure and all in your head and your ears every time it come near your side of the atmosphere. And that's the truth. That everybody ain't gonna be on this trip coming up. Because everybody they making their choices. You can uh, go to churches right now, all down for the comatose way of life. Want to be common law marriages or common law mirages. They do. Yes, they do. Now let me read to y'all this little joke with Solar is becoming such a comedian. Y'all gonna be that's gonna be left behind. I done put enough light code in Solar to try to keep some of y'all minds intact. Those I did my best on my end, what I was supposed to do. So I said, well, tell me some the laws about the laws of comma. And she says, the law of comma refers to the rules and guidelines for using commas correctly in writing. Okay. Separate independent clauses use commas to separate independent clauses when they are joined by coordinating conjunctions like and, but, for, or, nor, so, yet. Example, I wanted to go for a walk, comma, but it started raining. After introductory elements, elemental, elemental P. After introductory elements, use commas after introductory clauses, Santa Claus, phrases, or words that come before the main clause. Example, after the meeting, comma, we went out for lunch. So now we have, I wanted to go for a walk, but it started raining. After the meeting, we went out for lunch. In a series, now she's breaking down the series. In the series, use commas to separate three or more words, comma, phrases, comma, or clauses written in a series. Example, we bought apples, comma, oranges, comma, and bananas. And with non-essential elements, use commas to set off non-essential clauses, comma, phrases, comma, and words that are not crucial to the meaning of the sentence. Example, my brother, comma, who lives in New York, comma, is visiting us next week. Huh? Huh? A New York way of life. Our brother is visiting us next week. That's just what she had to say. That's what she had to say. Uh, my brother, who lives in New York, is visiting us next week. So then she says, now with the coordinates adjectives, use commas to separate two or more coordinate adjectives that describe the comma same noun. Example, it was a long, tiring journey. It was a long. While I'm on this tedious journey, I want Jesus to walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Just walk with me. Uh, they letting me know it was tiring journey. But our brother from New York will be visiting next week. Just a visit now. I don't know, y'all. Uh, and then she says to prevent confusion, use commas whenever necessary to prevent possible confusion or misreading. Example, let's eat, comma, grandma, versus let's eat grandma. These rules help make your writing clear and easy to read. So then I said, well, okay, well, what is the Coma law? She said, here are some key aspects to the Coma law. Guardianship. Now y'all gonna see where I'm going now. Guardianship and decision making. When a person is in a coma, a comma law, Mirage in a comatose way, they are unable to make decisions. A court, maybe an attorney general of some sort, that position went into undertaking of the presidential way of life. A court may appoint a guardian or conservator to make medical and financial decisions on their behalf. If everyone will be in a comatose type of way, who's best in a practicing ex attorney general with all their rules, laws, and deceit? Medical directives. Uh, Everything under the CHIP Act has to do with you being a patient of America. In order for them to be able to purchase your light with ease, they had to put it in a medical form. And your flesh, the ship, the vessel, is what's at stake right now. I said to you, they are not thinking about the color of your skin. They're not thinking about the land that you're from. They're not thinking that your temple, this is the temple of the light. Your body, your flesh is almost to the point of irrelevancy to them, and they do not want to kill you because it is your light that they are purchasing. This flesh will fall. It is written that that is how it's going to go down. But you don't believe it until I finish reading. Let me, not right now. Here we go. Medical directives. So they need their medical directors. Then it says in the comma law, brain death versus persistent vegetative state. There are legal distinctions between brain death and persistent vegetative state. Brain death is legally recognized as death, while a person in a persistent, they want you to be vegetated. They want you to be a vegetarian, a veggie, of a vegetable, from Hades, of a vegetable, a vegetable. This one, Michael almost got lost. They want you to be in a vegetative state of mind, because vegetative state is saying your consciousness, your light is still here with us, but lacks awareness. This is where they want you to be. Liability and compensation. Now they're going to have to be able to, that's where their loans, um, they have applied for their loan to be able to be compensated correctly when they purchase you. If a coma is caused by accident or medical malpractice, there may be legal proceedings to determine liability and compensation for the victim and their family. So I just wanted to share that information before I go to some information that is very, very pertinent. Uh, so they making all this big kadoo talking about what they're gonna do at the border, right? They did what they was gonna do. This administration, the Biden Harris administration has already did what they were gonna do about the border security. They did that let's say June, but they just putting it out less than 30 days from now because they figured enough people is not going to get the information to go to their federal register and read the information that states what rules and regulations that Joe Biden Harris administration put out for the border crisis. They did it in June, but they're just putting it out as a rule in the Federal Register document, and it ain't even in there today. This is supposed to hit. Let's see. Let's see. Said the blind man. What day they get? They got it to hit the Federal Register. They got it to hit the Federal Register on the 7th. What's today's date? So they ain't got it to hit the Federal Register on the 7th. Like they preparing for something. No? Yes. So this border security information that they signed off on in June, they're not releasing it to the public until the 7th. But because I'm one that likes to go to the public inspection readings and read what they got for the people, I'm reading it today. Well, I'm not going to read it all today. This is shadow hours. And it is how many pages? 418 pages. Y'all know I'm not going to read it. But I want to read a significant part in it that has to do with your temple, your body. They call your body a ship. Huh? They think of your body as cargo, a ship, or that's holding something of value to them. And you ready? Let's go. So here is the document. Let's share the screen. Here is the document. Now, before I read this document, I'm going to go ahead and read some scripture. That's where my mind and heart is, why that sits there, why people come in and out and click in and out and look and leave. At least they can get a glimpse of this and go run and pull the information for themselves and spread the message. And what they say may not sound like what I'm about to tell you, but at least the information about what the Biden Harris administration, whatever lies that they say in regards to this information, any immigrant that don't have their papers together, that's anybody that do, because they can't purchase your light if you belong to another country. That's in here. They can't buy your light. It's not about them not wanting you because almost everybody on this land, huh, are immigrants. But if you are illegal, they can't purchase your light. They can give you money, but they cannot purchase your light. And that's what the whole argument is about. They cannot purchase you under the CHIPS Act law. your light code, your light energy if you are illegal immigrant. And if you make a declaration that you are not a United States citizen, they can't attempt to purchase your light. So all illegal immigrants, not the ones that just came over off boats and all that, those who've been here for years and still ain't got their papers together. But if you have your visa, you are a legal immigrant, you're legal, so they can purchase your light code. If you say, I don't believe in Jesus. No, Jesus, no, I not born again. No. They say, whoo, okay, we got you. You are entitled to this land, huh? You're entitled to be stuck here, right here, marked up with the beast. But let me read this. Judgment against false prophets. Let me make this larger for those who will be coming in and out. Make this a little bit larger. And pull it down some. So she making it like she went down there recently and now she's making all these promises, and half of the promises that she made or have said is not in there, but they had already signed off on what they're going to do in June. They did it in June. Huh? Their summary for it. June 23rd, 2024. But it became a final rule this week, and they're releasing it on the 7th. Then this message came to me. Son of dust, prophecy against false prophets of Israel who are inventing their own visions and claiming to have messages from me when I have never told them anything. Woe upon them. Be careful what you out there teaching, that if it ain't come from God in these days and times, you're doing the flock. You better stay on your whatever it is that you've been doing versus teaching false doctrine. That's these days. This message is for these days. O Israel, these prophets of yours are useless as foxes for rebuilding your walls. O evil prophets, what have you ever done to strengthen the walls of Israel against her enemies? By strengthening Israel in the Lord. Instead, you have lied against her enemies. By strengthening instead you have lied when you said my message is from God. God did not send you. And Jesus never said y'all are gods. Jesus said it's okay. You say that you are God. You say you are gods. Okay, y'all say y'all gods. I agree with you because that's what you say. That's what Jesus said. Jesus never said y'all are gods. We are gods. You are God. Jesus never said that. So there's another more in misinformation and lies that somebody is teaching, and they need to be careful to study to show thyself approved, because they're going to be held accountable for every single soul that they took. With, um, just believe me what I say. Jesus never said that. Jesus said, yeah, you say y'all say y'all gods. Okay, y'all say y'all gods. Okay, then I agree. I'm not gonna debate back and forth with you about who you claim to be. I didn't come for that to tell you, to persuade you. If you say you gods, you gods. I came out of Egypt. I know y'all ain't God. I know I came to tell you exactly, you know, what it is. But if you want to be a God and you say you a God, okay. That's what Jesus said. And it said, instead, you have lied when you said my message is from God. God did not send you, and yet you expect him to fulfill your prophecies. Can you deny that you have claimed to see visions you never saw, and that you have said this message is from God when I never spoke to you at all? That's for everybody, the mothers, long ago, mothers to these days. These people stand up in church and say, God said, when all they did was used to have somebody in the neighborhood call them and gossip on the phone. So they had everybody business in the house. And then they could go and stand in the church and said, God showed me that you and Sister Mary have been tiptoeing around the corner. Some of you who've been going into the hiding shacks, the hole in the walls. God showed me stop going to the hole because they had the gossiper calling. God never showed them nothing. Hmm. Everywhere I read, I should say, comma, comma. It says this message is from God when this message is from God, comma, when I never spoke to you at all. Y'all, comma, toast. Therefore, the Lord says, I will destroy you for these visions and lies. My hand shall be against you, and you shall be cut off from among the leaders of Israel. I will blot out your names, and you will never see your own country again. That's for them that wear fit like Juju, following the seal and star of Solomon's temple. Uh, Killing more than a little bit. And you shall know that I am the Lord. For these evil men deceive my people by saying, God will send peace, when that is not my plan at all. My people build a flimsy wall, and these prophets praise them for it and cover it with whitewash. Tell these evil builders that their wall will fall. It say they made up the lie. Humpty Dumpty fell from the wall. Nope. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Nah, the wall will come tumbling down. Not no little Berlin wall, not nothing like that. All of the wall from shore to shore. A heavy rainstorm will undermine it. Great hailstorms and mighty winds will knock it down. And when the wall falls, the people will cry out, why didn't you tell us that it wasn't good enough? Why did you whitewash it and cover it up its faults? Yes, it will surely fall, the Lord God says. I will sweep it away with the storm of indignation and with a great flood of anger and with hailstorms and wrath. I will break down your whitewashed walls, and it will fall on you and crush you, and you shall know that I am the Lord. Then at last my wrath against the wall will be completed. Mm. And concerning those who praised it, I will say, the wall and its builders are both gone, for they were lying prophets, claiming Jerusalem will have peace when there is no peace, says the Lord God. It ain't no peace until he come back. Son of dust, speak out against the women prophets too, who pretend the Lord has given them his message. Tell them the Lord God says, woe to these women who are damning their souls of my people, of both young and old alike, by tying magic charms on their wrists and furnishing them with magic veils and selling them indulgences. That's that witchcraft, tarot reading, all that extra Cleo mess. Singing bowls. They refuse to even offer help unless they get a profit for it. Don't y'all know plenty of people like that? Unless they get a profit. I got to be paid. Huh? For the sake of a few paltry handfuls of barley or a piece of bread, will you turn away my people from me? You have led those to death who should not die, and you have promised life to those who should not live by lying to my people and how they love it. They hoard the ones that are lying. People feel proud about it too. You could hear them on the panels. That's why you have 10,000 followers, 10,000 viewers. Of course, the gates to hell is wide, and in that width of long, wide lies and prophecies coming out of the mouth of those who have not studied to show thyself approved unto the one true and living God, who is out sending right now messengers that are connected to your light code. And but then who am I? Who am I? They love it. They flood the gates, just like the churches. Okay, let's say the YouTube communities. The mega churches is where most of the lying and wickedness and deceit happen. So the mega streamers, the mega streamers, they're not telling the truth. They love it. And so the Lord says, I will crush you because you hunt my people's souls with your magic charms. I will tear off the charms and set my people free like birds from cages. I will tear off the magic veils and save my people from you. They will no longer be your victims, and you shall know that I am the Lord. Your lies have discouraged the righteous when I didn't want it so. And you have encouraged wicked by promising life, though they continue in their sins. Saying, you have those up there that's saying, oh yeah, your sin, it's okay that you do this sin and that sin. Heaven is for you too, or the new earth is for you too. No, any wickedness and people not speaking against the wickedness, and they're condoning the wickedness, and all the things that are unclean and unpure and not right to God. It says it right here. He said, you discouraging the righteousness, and that's not what I wanted in the first place. And you have encouraged wicked by promising life, though they continue in their sins. There is no promise of eternal life. You have the people saying, yes, the transition is going to be for, no, the death unto those who will not change their way of life. Death unto those that are wicked. Death unto those who accept the mark of the beast. Period. Period. It ain't no I love you no matter who you are. God ain't with that. God didn't like Sodom and Gomorrah back then, and he definitely on the new kingdom, it ain't no Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't care how much you smile and how kind you are. Oh, I help people in the community. You help them with what? Feed them a burger and a hot dog. Feed them something off the grill. A person helping people in community could help a whole um, family of drug dealers, killing children. What is it that you have said to that person to help that person transition into the love and light of Christ? Transition into the love and light that Christ left behind as a blueprint, that we will be ready when God comes. But you will lie no more. No longer will you talk of seeing visions that you never saw, nor practice your magic. For I will deliver my people out of your hands by destroying you, and you will know that I am the Lord. I just felt I needed to read that. Huh? And these magicians with their magic spells and their magic words, all the way up to the highest heights of the spiritual wickedness in high places. We could talk about everything else but Jesus. Now, let me show you this information here. I got it here. Now, you see the securing the border. And again, the date they released it, they made it a final rule. Final rule. They made it a final rule, June 3rd, right? But they didn't release it. This rule is effective 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on October 1st. She making it like, well, when I get, this is what they decision they made this day, and it has nothing to do with flesh and blood. It has to do with your light code. Grandma, what are you talking about? You always talking about that. Conflicts with humanitarian values, impacts criminal enforcement. All this is good and dandy, but I'm going to show you one thing, and I'm going to read a little story. So up here in the corner, if you can see the page, I got Control F on illegal. That's my main focus. Non-citizens may not understand their legal right to seek asylum. Application to Mexican nationals. Root causes of migration. 418 pages, y'all. Geographic circumvention of lawful paths. Baselines, mandates, asylum officers, merit, the mobile phone application. Remember when I told y'all, what's his name? Biden wife kept saying she kept going to Mexico and telling them, don't worry, they all will have phones when they cross the border. What they plans is with the Cubans, the Haitian, the Nicaraguans, and the Venezuelans. It's all here. You don't have to wait, huh? Now, you mean to tell me securing the border, how the LGBTQ questioning and intersex migration laws affect them? What, do they have a special space in immigration for them? You'll need to come and read what was released while she's standing up there lying about what it is that she's promising to do. Now, let me show you again. Let me go to this information here. I forgot what page it was on. Presence, no expulsion. I think this is it right here. Let's see. Right here. Okay. So I start reading here. Dr. Paul Wise, the Kazoon, and I got right here and got stuck. So I decided to click on this right here. And I'm going to read you a little bit about the charming Betty. And you tell me what it sounds like to you. Asylum eligibility, East Bay, discretionary release, the Murray versus Schooner Charming Betsy law, the Crank or the Cranch refugee law performance 1967 protocol, 1987. I'm not going to go to the Cardoso Fonseca yet. I want to read this Murray versus Charming Betsy 1804. They going all the way back to 1804 to implement particular laws that they have. 1804. It don't say nothing about 1804, Grandma. Yes, it do. Yes, it do. Let's see if I can find 1804 right here for you. Right here. Okay. 1804 for Charming Betsy. They said we going all the way back to 1804. But this time the transition is that the ship is not you. I mean, the ship is not the ship itself. It's the your flesh. It's your flesh. Let me read it. Charming Betsy, an American merchant vessel, sailed from Baltimore on the 10th of April, 1800, under the name of the Jane for St. Bartholomew with a cargo of flour, and afterwards proceeded to St. Thomas, where she was sold to J.S., who was born in the United States and while an infant to removed to St. Thomas, of which place he became a burgher, and there carried a trade as a merchant, married there, and in 1797, see how they going with the time and lying to go. 1797 took an oath of allegiance to Denmark. JS put a cargo on board of the schooner, calling her the Charming Betsy, and cleared her out for Guadalupe. She was captured by a French privateer and ordered for Guadalupe as a prize, and was recaptured by the American frigate Constellation. Murray commander and carried into Martinique, where the cargo was sold and the vessel was brought to the United States. The vessel and cargo being considered as having violated the law of the United States prohibiting intercourse between United States and France, and the sale to JS asserted to be covered to evade the law, held that the recapture was illegal. Here they're talking about a boat, a ship, and beings in the same quantum entanglement. Held that the recapture was illegal. An act of Congress ought never be construed to violate the law of the nations if any other possible construction remains, and consequently can never be construed to violate neutral rights or the effect of neutral commerce further than it is warranted by the law of the nations as understood in this country. The case cited at the bar and the arguments drawn from the general conduct of the United States seem completely to establish the principle of an American citizen may acquire in a foreign country the commercial privileges attached to his domicile and be exempt from the operation of the act of Congress expressed in general terms. The American citizen who goes into a foreign country, although he owes local and temporary allegiance to the country, yet if he performs no other act changing his condition, is entitled to the protection of his own government, and if without the violation of municipal law he should be oppressed, he would have the right to claim the protection and the interposition of his government in his favor. Where the report of persons appointed to a certain and assessed damages for a marine trespass gave gross sum unaccompanied by explanations to be paid by the captors whom had made an illegal capture. The report was set aside. The omission of the appellant to accept to the report does not cure an error apparent of the face of the record, and omission to given explanations is such an error. A public officer entrusted to perform the duty of high seas necessary to the service of his country, acting according to the best of his judgment under the orders he has received. If he is a victim of any mistake, ought never be assessed with vindictive damages. It is not only the duty of the court to relieve him for such damages, but no sentences should be affirmed where, from the nature of the proceedings, the whole case appears on the record, unless those proceedings are such as to show on what decree has been founded and to support the decree. In the District Court of Pennsylvania, a libel was filed by Alexander Murray Esquire for himself and others against the schooner Charming Betsy, founded in the Act of Congress passed the 27th of February, 1800. One Stories Law 718, entitled An Act to Suspend the Commercial Intercourse between the United States and France and the Independence thereof. The libel states that the schooner sailed from Baltimore after the passing act, owned, hired, and employed by persons resident within the United States or by citizens thereof residents elsewhere, bound to Guadalupe, and was taken on high seas on June 8, 1800, by the libelant, then the commander of public armed ship, the Constellation, pursuant to instructions given to him by the President of the United States, there being reason to suspect her to be engaged in a traffic or commerce contrary to the said act. The facts of the case are stated by the district judge in his decree as follows. On or about 10th of April 1800, the schooner, now called Charming Betsy, but then called Jane, sailed from Baltimore to the District of Maryland, an American bottom dully registered according to law, belonging to the citizens of and resident in the United States and regularly documented with American papers. She was laden with cargo belonging to citizens of the United States. Her destination was first to St. Bartholomew, where the captain had orders to effect a sale of both vessel and cargo. But if the sale of the schooner could not be effected at St. Bartholomew, which was to be considered the primary object of the voyage, the captain was to proceed to St. Thomas with the vessel, and such part of the flour was as she be unsold, where he was to accomplish the sale. Although the sale of the cargo, consistent with chiefly of flour, was effected at St. Bartholomew, yet the vessel could not there be advantageously disposed of, and the captain proceeded according to his instructions to St. Thomas, where a bona fide sale was accomplished by Captain James Phillips on behalf of American owners for a valuable consideration to a certain Jared Shattuck, a resident merchant of the island of St. Thomas. Jared Shattuck was born in Connecticut before the American Revolution and had removed long before any differences with France in his early youth to the island of St. Thomas, where he served his apprenticeship, intermarried, opened a house of trade, owned sundry vessels, and was said as lands which none but Danish subjects were competent to hold and possess. So the most of St. Thomas was possessed by Danish beings that at around that time. About the year 1796, he became a Danish burgher invested with privileges of Danish subject, owning allegiance to his Danish majesty. It did not appear that Jared Shattuck had ever returned to the United States to resume citizenship, but constantly resided and had his domicile both before and at the time of purchase of the schooner Jane at St. Thomas. Although the schooner was armed and furnished with ammunition on her sailing from Baltimore, the cannon, the arms, and stores were sold to Jared Shattuck by a contract separate from that of the vessel. She was chiefly dismantled of these articles at St. Thomas, a small part of the ammunition, and trifling part of the small arms accepted. The name of schooner was at St. Thomas changed so that of Charming Betsy, and she was documented with Danish papers as a property of Jared Shattuck. So, being the bona fide property of Jared Shattuck, she took in a cargo belonging to him and no other, as appeared by the papers found on board and delivered to this court. She sailed with the said cargo from St. Thomas on or about June 25th, 1800, commanded by certain Thomas Wright and a Danish burgher, and navigated according to the laws of Denmark. For aught that appeared to the contrary, bound to the island of Guadalupe. On or about the 1st of July, 1800, she was captured on her passage to Guadalupe by a French privateer and prize master, and 7 or 8 hands put on board the Danish crew, except Captain Wright and the old man and 2 boys, being taken off by the French privateer. On the 3rd of the same July, she was boarded and taken possession of by some officers and crew of the Constellation under the orders of Captain Murray, and sent into the port of St. Pierre in Martinique, where she arrived on the 5th of the same month of July. The Danish papers were on board, and except process verbal formed by the French, there were no other papers found. The instructions of the President of the United States to Captain Murray comprehended the case of the vessel found in the possession of the French captors, but they seemed to intend a vessel belonging to citizens of the United States. It did not appear that Captain Murray had any knowledge of Jared Shattuck's being a native of Connecticut or the United States until so informed in Martinique. The cargo of the schooner was sold by order of captain at Martinique, and she was ordered to the United States for adjudication. After her arrival in the port of Philadelphia, a libel was filed in the district court. A claim to the vessel was filed by Jared Shattuck, and he also claimed damages for the capture and for the sale of cargo at Martinique. The district court ordered the vessel to be restored, and his decree proceeded to the order of the amount of the sale of the cargo to be paid to the claimant for his unlawful agent, together with the costs, and such damages shall be assessed by the clerk of court, who was directed to inquire into the report the amount thereof. And for this purpose, the clerk was directed to associate himself to intelligent merchants of the district and dully inquire what damage Jared Shattuck, the owner of the schooner Charming Betsy and her cargo, had sustained by reason of premises. So it be the opinion of the clerk and assessors associated with him that the officers and crew of the Constellation benefited the owner of Charming Betsy by rescue of the French captors. They should allow in adjustment reasonable compensation for this service. On May 15th, following upon the report of the clerk and assessors, the final decree was entered for $20,594.16 of damages with cost. This was what, before the 1800s, the early 1800s. From this decree, the libellant appealed to the circuit court, which adjudged that the decree of district court be affirmed so far as it directs restitution of the vessel and payment to the claimant of the net proceeds of the sale of the cargo in Martinique, deducted the cost charges there according to account exhibited by Captain Murray's agent, being one of the exhibits in this cause, and that the said decree be reversed for the residue, each party to pay his own costs, and one moiety of the custody and wharfage bills for keeping the vessel until restitution to the claimant. From this decree, both parties appealed the Supreme Court. So this story right here, let me bring it down. Let's bring it down. About the sale, they talking about people's human bodies, right? But this Charming Betsy had to do with a ship and a constellation and the burgers. And they have it implemented, stamped in their holy tablets in the Federal Register of 418 pages of what their intent is and what they mean when they say illegal immigrant, which covers any. So if I say to them, no, I am not, I do not, I'm born again. If I say, no, I am not an American. If I say all the things that go against the box that they have people in and light code, their laws and regulations for those people are in here too. Okay? That's my whole point of showing you, clicking onto some of these, what they got versus this and what they have versus that. Let me put in and type in black. Let's type in black and see what they got in here. Let's see what they got in here under black. Okay. For example, commenter remarked did not analyze the effects of vulnerable populations such as black migrants. Go down. Commenters further expressed particularly vulnerable populations who are awaiting, including black migrants and women, are particularly susceptible to discrimination, violence, heightened barriers, and report crimes and access. Let's see, go down. Commenters stated that the app cannot read faces of black, brown, Asian, and indigenous people seeking asylum. Say what? So they're using the facial reading recognition app for the global positioning systems. They're using and reading the light codes in order to, oh, the people that was in the research and development to see if their phone programs will work. That's why everybody was giving them phone. It says some of the commenters. Now, this is a final rule paper, though. Now, this is a law. This paper right here is the law. It says commenters express concerns about the CBP1 remains accessible to many due to facial recognition technology errors, which commenters state are frequent for migrants with darker skin tones. Commenters stated that the app cannot read faces of black, brown, Asian, and indigenous people seeking asylum, and Haitians and Africans are particularly likely to experience algorithm bias. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The app cannot read faces of black, brown, Asian, and indigenous people seeking asylum. uh, uh, the phones can read your heartbeat. The phones can read your brain waves. The phone can read your sugar levels. The phone can read a plant and tell how much water it is needing and missing. The The phone can tell how fast you ran and how many steps you take, but the phone can. I'm for the close out, y'all. This was Shadow Hours Live. For more information, uh, if you consider yourself an illegal citizen of the United States, you don't have to worry if you are black, brown, Asian, and indigenous. You's attached to the land. If you accept that, they say the app ain't bothering you. The app is fine. If you want to be attached, if you consider yourself black, go right ahead. You ain't no light being, that's fine. You ain't brown, you brown, you want to be a brown American. You want to be a black American, you want to be an Asian American, and you definitely want to be indigenous. Whatever your name is as an American wanting to be attached to land, you ain't got to worry. They apps that they going that's supposed to take people down can't read your face. They say you are already marked. We don't have to facially recognize. We don't need to read your light code. And it says, but the Africans and the Haitians, because they don't have a title like that, they are particularly will likely to experience algorithm bias. I just want to leave it right here. I want to leave it right here. Y'all better start asking Kamala Harris, what does that mean in their law, in their securing the border law that she and Biden worked out? What does that mean? When Jill was passing out, going back and forth, telling those people down there that they will be getting phones when they enter the country. They say, we cannot, let me put this in. The app cannot read the faces of black, brown, Asian, and indigenous people seeking asylum. That's because that's the claim you make. Most of these, if they say they black, they don't claim, they don't say they born again. They say we's black, we's a Democrat. Uh, If they say brown, no, the brown, we Oshun, we said brown sugar baby today. Asians, uh, oh Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. I'm just saying, it say you don't have to worry because we know you don't accept Jesus. For those who make these claims right here, I'm just saying, go ask Kamala, the comma. What does this mean that the app cannot read the CBP one word order? The one word order, the CBP one word order cannot read a black face, a brown face. I told y'all stop claiming that stuff. And thriving black market available only to the wealthiest refugees. Black market for appointments. Uh, Commenters allege that the exception for insufficient to protect vulnerable groups who face disappropriated risk of harm in Mexico, including LGBTQI plus non-citizens, black, indigenous non-citizens, women, and children, among others. Mm, 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 mm. Play at your own risk. I should have stayed right there. Let me go back up because this is IJ's. Let me scroll a little longer. I ain't got nothing to do. I ain't got nothing to do. Lawful pathways. Mexico did not fall into the exception. Imminent extreme. Undermining the rules. Simply non citizens face further imminent rules and limitations. proclamations of non-citizens victims of severe entry trafficking, exceptionally compelling training, absence of documentation, burden, victims, uh, going Anna inner, satisfy existing. It's a lot of paperwork here. Uh, there's a Poe, Edgar Allan Poe in there, y'all. Edgar Allan Poe story up in there. Poe. Now you Poe, if you poor, you Poe. What else they got going on here? Non-citizens were denied emergency circumstances in effect solely. Mm-mm. Credible fear, determination, harm, particular harm to most vulnerable, credible fear findings, global asylum final rule. It's a global assignment, one word order, final affair, global asylum order, credible asylum processing, weighed in favor, determination, maximum strain, Ina, UE, uh-uh, UE, authorization of immigration judge, seven consecutive calendar days remain 1,500 encounters between pose, 28 consecutive calendar days, 14 days effect, turn off on day. What? Rules provision would not consistently turn off one day and turn on the next day. Oh, they're saying people were saying that. Family unity provisions. Nevertheless, third countries refers claims removal from country. Additionally, the extent commenters raise concerns over qualifying spouses, children independently receiving statutory withholding of removal, related departments. Let me go down. I want to see final rule. Let's see if I type that in, what comes up. Okay. Final rule on page 1. They got 67 instances of final rule. Final rule here. Final rule. I want to get down to the final rule published. You may send a final rule. July 2024 analysis of persist data set summary statistics tab. DHS reinstated removal orders for a larger share of single adults and individuals and family units during the pre-pandemic period, 26% during the pandemic period compared to 14% under the interim final rule, which is unsurprising given that the department are seeing fewer repeat encounters as a result of higher proportion of non-Mexicans, non-Northern Central Americans with more limited migration histories. Oh, they going in on a notably July 2024 database. Notice to appear. Possible network ability, availability of space at the IC, consequences swiftly, highest proportion, really 66. So all these are just stats right now. August 31st, 27% of non-citizens encountered between poll at the swab Expedited removal indicated an intention to apply for asylum or fear of persecution or torture. Let's scroll down some more. Final rule, the border interim, June 4th, 2024. So their final rule about the what you call it hit in June, like I said. And she up there acting like they're gonna make some new decisions about when the decision that they made in June, extraterritorial application, Hawaii, communic- CDC final rule for non-citizens, changes from interim final rule to final rule happened June 5th. The presidential proclamation, September 27th, 2024. September 27th, the department believed that shifting to the 28th consecutive day requirement for this rule is parallel to the changes made September 27th. It's necessary to ensure the rule's measures discontinue only once there has been durable, sustained decrease in encounters at the southern border, such that the emergency border circumstances have in fact abated. Premature and frequent discontinuations of rules. Swift delivery requires 7 and rule to trigger. Short-term decreases. Encounters holiday dip tab. There go they holy days. Then I just talked to y'all about their holy days. Historic patterns. Going by historic patterns. You see the term in there, historic patterns? Mexican enforcement tab. Anticipation of asylum falling for the sustained. $1,000 releases before release fell to an average of 510 per day between June 18th and August 31st. And although ICE repatriated approximately 38,500 single adults and family member units from June 5th through July 31st, 2024, only around 15,400 of them were encountered by USBP after June 4th, 2024. The rest were pre June 5th USBP SWB encounters and pre post June 5th Office of Field Operation encounters. They lying. Oh my goodness. Hypothetical lower bound thresholds. See, now they going on hypotheticals. Hypotheticals, precise encounters. June 11, 2024. Migration burden. Encounters of 2000. All right, it's time for me to go to bed. Encounters of nationals El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. Mm-mm. The alien would be persecuted because of his or her race, religion, nationality, membership, or particular social group, or political opinion, or tortured with respect to designated countries or country of removal. Mm. They say they deleted that clause. First, the rule replaces the term alien to non citizen. Victims of severe trafficking. June 3rd proclamation will be ineligible for asylum unless they demonstrate by preponderance of the evidence that exceptionally compelled circumstances exist, including if the non citizen demonstrates that they are a member and their family, as described in 8 CFR 20830, with whom they are traveling, faced an acute medical emergency, faced imminent or extreme threat of life, such as imminent threat of rape, kidnapping, torture, murder, satisfied definition, victim of severe trafficking person, asylum merits, rule establishes fear of persecution. June 3rd proclamation, asylum claims, reasonable probability, severability, circumstances, manifestation of fear procedures or proclamation to screen for statutory withholding of removal of cat protection if a non citizen was otherwise unable to establish credible fear of persecution for asylum due to lawful path. Uh oh. Kmart Corp and Cartier Inc. Okay, so there's another versus case. Kmart and Cartier. What that got to do with mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Circle K. Physically website app. Yeah, I'm about to get off of here. It's all these pages. I don't want to read no more. I don't want to read no more. I was trying to get down to where they final rule really is a final rule. Clarifying final rules, non citizen, final rule, asylum eligibility, procedural modifications, discussing final rule further in the rule making, final rule changes made, national detainee book, final rule, language access. Boy, I don't know how many times they got the word persecution in here. Final rule, alien subject to bar on entry under certain presidential. But I thought they removed the term alien to alleviate the mass illegal immigration crisis along with southern border by discouraging the submission of fraudulent or otherwise meritless asylum claims. And another commenter asserted that the rule is similar to the administration's interim final rule entitled aliens subject to a bar on entry under certain presidential bar. Inhumane, echoing of reactionary measures, division of xenophobia, cynical approach. East Bay 3, they bring that up again, the East Bay. East Bay 3, I should pull that up. Oh, the East Bay 3. Trafficking persons, severe. It's just like a bunch of the mumbo jumbo. They not getting straight to the point. Would be ineffective or not achieve as its intended outcomes. The White House, Guatemala, the third ministerial meeting of Los Angeles Declaration on Migration Protection in Guatemala, Joint Humanitarian Plan on Migrations, Management of Asylum Case, Exasp. Goodness, they ain't never gonna get to the final rule. Mass illegal, they beating around the President Bush. Global Asylum Final Rule Review mirrors of the Global Asylum Final Rule. So they got a mirror to their plan. They got a mirror to their plan. Review the mirrors. Review the mirrors to their final rule. So they putting a mirror. They putting this plan up to a mirror. They using magic mirrors in this plan, huh? Final rule. Look like they never get to the final rule of the final rule that is supposed to be a final rule. Securing the border, June 24th, muster. Final rule with regard to concerns. Final rule, June 7th, fall under presidential proclamation and interim, June 7th. Final rule, securing the border, June 4th, final rule. June 4th, 2024, final rule. Final rule, DHS updated the second analysis. Final rule, request for another context. Mandatory bars finalized. Final rule, public interest, homeland security. Counterterrorism, homeland security, final rule. Status of refugees. Public health order. Riverbend Farms Inc. versus Madigan. Ooh, that looks interesting. Riverbend Farm Inc. to give affected parties time to adjust their behavior before the final rule takes effect. What? What they about to do that people gotta adjust their attitudes before the final rule takes effect? Who they talking about? I should open that up and look. Riverbend Farms, Gavrolovic. Oh no. They saying before the final rule hit, we gonna give them chance to get their attitudes together. These changes fine-tune statistical parameters for tracking daily encounters so as to immunize the emergency measures for transitory blips in the data, but do not disturb or add requirements to impose on the interim final rule to help non-citizens navigate their immigration system. Learn about legal developments ahead of time is to exploit perceived gaps in border process or regime. The proclamation IFR went into effect months ago and have since been subject to regular public updates. Border encounters, Elliot Spaggett manufacture a sense of urgency among the migrants. Prey on migrants by spreading rumors, misrepresenting facts, creating a sense of urgency to induce migrants to make the journey by overemphasizing the significance of recent upcoming policy developments. Had to toggle between applying, discontinuing, emergency. This is especially true for the amendment June 3rd proclamation. See Nick Miroff and Carolyn Van Houten. The border is tougher to cross than ever, but there's still one way into America. Even as migrants were racing to reach U.S. soil before the rule expired, Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said smugglers were sending a different message. He noted an uptick in smugglers at his country's southern border. Short-lived intermittent fluctuations in the longitudinal tracking data. Foreign affairs, migratory flows. Affected persons with hardship, modernizing. Let's see, I'm trying to get down. Let's see, final rule might have an effect. Final rule, not fundamentally. Illegal smuggling activity, asylum, significant economic impact. Final rule, 100 million in 1995, 200 million in 2023. Final rule. Asylum withholding removal. Procedures for asylum and withholding of removal. Establishing asylum eligibility. References to the Presidential Proclamation of June 3rd, 2024. Removing the words alien, removing the words the alien, removing the words an alien, removing the words the alien. Limitation of asylum eligibility. What page I'm on? This the last page? Okay, let's look at what this final rule. Establishing asylum eligibility. Revising and adding paragraph to read entry during emergency border crisis. For a non-citizen who entered the United States across the southern border, as the term is described in Section 4D of the Presidential Proclamation claim, the term described between the dates described in the sections between the dates described. Such proclamation references Proclamation June 3rd, 2024, Presidential of September 27, 2024. The department intends that the event of the Presidential Proclamation of September 27, 2024, the portions of this chapter referring to it are rendered inoperative by court. This chapter shall continue to operate as its references to that proclamation have been stricken. What? What? They gonna put on the garland. I'm out of here. Greater light. Let me go talk to my husband. I need to go talk to my husband, y'all. Greater light.
Million ways to say what I feel, but so hard for me to explain. I am medicated, though I sympathize with my own pain. If you could read the merge scripts, you would know we are the same. cells that scream you are not to blame. Deciphering Mut'Awuhu as you did so naturally mine. You know from many past lives. Why the veg, the dotted lines? More than the time forbid, we put ourselves where we wanna be. Will you remove your cap of our sacred place? This is about you and me. Will you remove your cap of our sacred place? This is about you and me. He is not my God. There's no option to warm my heart into summer. He is not my Lord. He gave me space to glow like a fireplace hot. He is not my master, but you will never see. He is my husband. I am the bride of the Most High. Adore me. We travel through untouched realms time after time. Ancient souls of war, no reason or rhyme. You came back to me through the banks of bread and ham, but this time we get it by valley of troubles into a door of hope. I'm not his servant, he's not my God. I am not his staff, he is not my rod. He is not my master, I am not his slave. He is my husband, and you claim me safe. He is not my God. He's not to draw my heart into summer. He is not my Lord. He space to glow like a fireplace hot. He is not my master, but you will never see. He is my husband. He is not my God. I placed the archer true on my heart in December. He is not my Lord. He gave me space to glow like a fireplace hot ember. He is not my master. I love you beyond what you will never see. He is my husband. Million ways to say what I feel, but so hard for me to explain. I am not a credit, though I sympathize with my own pain. If you could read the merge scripts, you would know we are the same. A trillion cells that scream you are not to blame. Deciphering Mut'Awuhu as you did so naturally mine. You know from many past lives. Why the lines? More than the time forbid, we put ourselves where we wanna be. Will you remove your cap of our sacred place? This is about you and me. Will you remove your cap of our sacred place? This is about you and me. He is not my God. There's no option to warm my heart into summer. He is not my Lord. He gave me space to glow like a fireplace hot. He is not my master, but you will never see. He is my husband. I am the bride of the Most High. Adore me. We travel through untouched realms time after time. Ancient souls of war, no reason or rhyme. You came back to me through the banks of bread and ham, but this time we get it by valley of troubles into a door.
Yeah, the Mirage.